Hey people, how's it going? Welcome to a brand new video. I know it's been ages since the last one, well over a month. Obviously, with the kid hanging around now, the times to do videos are very slim, very small windows. But he's gone out with his mum, so I'm taking the small opportunity to jump on board this latest trend tag, not really tag, but this video topic that everyone keeps doing. Three amazing albums, three-run thing. Yeah, what's it called? Three-run album. Yeah. So I've got 10 bands that I just thought of last night. I was like, oh yeah, that one's pretty cool. That one's pretty cool. So I ran through what I've got in the collections as well. So without further ado, we'll just get straight into it. 10 is a lot. I've missed doing videos, and what better way to come back with a trend that people are jumping on. So the first one that we're gonna do is obviously that bit of hair is annoying me, is obviously the band that I'm all about. We're doing Maiden, obviously, but just to make it a little bit different, we're not gonna do the classic lineup. I understand that Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, Power Slave is top tier. You could even go Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, Seventh Son is quite god tier. You could also go debut Killers, Number of the Beast. You could pick any of them, but the three that I've gone for are the three first 21st century albums. So we're talking about Brave New World, Dance of Death, and A Matter of Life and Death. If you're a diehard Maiden fan like me, you've got no problems with these 21st century Maiden albums. First up is Brave New World. The reunion album, the comeback album, you could say, after the 90s era with Blaze. I don't mind those albums. I know they're much more under par than, everything else that Maiden have in their category. So to come back with an album like Brave New World and with two very key members from Maiden as well was just, such a hurrah. I talk about it like I was there. I was not. This came out in the year 2000. I was 7 at that time. No idea what metal was. But anyway, Brave New World is a fantastic album. Wicker Man's fantastic. Ghost of the Navigator, I really love that song. The song that made me want to get this album is Blood Brothers. I learned that song 10 years ago. I learned it in like 3 hours on the guitar. I wasn't actually a fan of the title track, Brave New World. I didn't really like it so much, but there you are. Dream of Mirrors, the epic is amazing. The Mercenary is awesome. It's just it's a good album. It's pretty heavy. Like, I think, I can't remember which one it is. Is it The Fallen Angel? That's got that. That's a great, whatever song that is, that's a great riff. Real heavy stuff. And then you get put, and then afterwards you have 2003's Dance of Death. Oh, the sleeves are coming out there. I don't have Brave New World on vinyl. I know, annoying, right? You have Dance of Death that comes out. Take away the album cover. You then also have a fantastic Maiden album from the 21st century. The title track, Dance of Death, is easily one of my favorites, like, of all time. It's amazing. Wildest Dreams, Rainmaker, not so much. No More Lies, that can get erased. I'm not a fan of that song. Monster Dance of Death, Gates of Tomorrow, that's an amazing side. I think that's awesome. Passchendaele, the epic of this one. Face in the Sand, it's such a good album. Like I say, take away the album cover and you get a really incredible Maiden album, only to be followed up by their heavy fucking A Matter of Life and Death. Holy God, from 2006. This album is boss. It's probably my favorite one from 21st century, and it's just awesome. I love the progressiveness of it. It's like 70s progressive, obviously. It's just the war theme throughout it is just amazing. And weirdly enough, I really dig this cover. I think it's a fantastic album cover. Different World is a great opener. I love it. These Colors Don't Run is fantastic. Brighter Than a Thousand Suns is probably one of my least favorite songs off this one. The Longest Day, Out of the Shadows, The Pilgrim even. The Pilgrim's a great song. Great riff. Oh, For the Greater Good of God, fantastic stuff. It's a top. This little trio of Maiden needs to give more love. I know, yeah, the 80s is golden, but this is great too. Brave New World, Dance of Death, Matter of Life and Death. If you're a Maiden fan, go jam them. They're so good. Coming up next, we have a golden trio from one of the godfathers of heavy metal. We got Ozzy Osbourne, and we're just going to tackle his first 3 albums: Blizzard of Oz, Diary of a Madman, and Bark at the Moon. So Ozzy Osbourne being, one of the founding fathers with the band Black Sabbath, absolutely fantastic band. They're actually in this list as well, coming up next. But yeah, we're starting with his solo debut album, Blizzard of Oz. This is awesome. I won't lie, it's not my favorite Ozzy album, but it's like in the top 3, so it's pretty damn good. Where are we? I don't know. I think that's a fantastic song, the opening song. I was actually quite shocked to find that this album didn't open with Crazy Train when I first heard it and when I first bought it. I was like, oh, righto. I don't know, it's a fantastic song. Should have been a single. Was it a single? I hope so. Goodbye to Romance, real beautiful ballad. D, just Randy Rhoads doing some acoustically stuff. Suicide Solution, fantastic. Mr. Crowley, no Bone movies though, is a bit silly, but I think that's awesome. Revolution and Steal Away the Night, really good album. But in my opinion, the best Aussie album is Diary of a Madman, obviously the sophomore to Blizzard of Oz. Fantastic album and such a step up from Blizzard of Oz. This one is just fantastic. Over the Mountain and Fly High Again, those two are just, yes. When I heard them, I was like, cool. Already I love this album much more than I do Blizzard. You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, that's cool. Believer, I love the riff for Believer. It's such a cool song. Little Dolls Tonight and the title track Diary of a Madman. This one is just fantastic. This one is so much better than Blizzard, and this is a swell. I've talked about this album in several videos, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, this one is just awesome. Only to be followed up by, I didn't have the CDs in order, only to be followed up by Bark at the Moon from 1983. This one is 40 years old this year, released in I want to say December, but I don't actually know. Wiki doesn't tell me. But yeah, Bark at the Moon is a fantastic Aussie album as well. And it won't lie, it took me a while to get into it, but I love it now. I bought this when I bought Patient Number 9, the album, and that's a great album too. But this was cheap, and I was like, yeah, I want it on a vinyl, but it's all right. $10 for a CD is pretty good. So yeah, Bark at the Moon, I've loved since I played it on Vice City. It's a great song. You're No Different, Now You See It, Now You Don't. That's a cool song as well. Rock and Roll Rebel, great. Center of Eternity, easily the best song on this album. So Tired and Slow Down, yeah, obviously they're like the side 2 filler songs, but then you get Waiting for Darkness. That one's golden as well. That is honestly so good. This one is very close to, I think did I rank this at number 2? I can't remember. It's either 2 or number 3, one of them. But yeah, and then the CD's bonus tracks is Spiders and One Up the B-side. So, which is One Up the backside. That's quite funny. But yeah, honestly, Bark at the Moon, Diary of a Madman, Blizzard of Oz, absolutely fantastic trio from the Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne. And as just mentioned, you've got Black Sabbath somewhere in this list. Well, they're coming up right now. I was humming and hawing which little sections to take off Sabbath, and I've just gone with the OG 3. I'm coming up with Black Sabbath, Paranoid, and Master of Reality. 1970, Black Sabbath introduced us to the world that we now know as heavy metal. This album is just brilliant. I ranked this album at number 3 out of all of Sabbath's albums, honestly. Despite the second half being a more or less jam session, this album is still so good. All 3 of these ones are fantastic. Black Sabbath, the song, good lord. I mean, that note, I don't need to talk about this album really, but you just have to bring it up. Out of all the ones I've seen do this, can't remember if I've seen anyone do these 3, but still, Black Sabbath, The Wizard, that silly little harmonica, but it works so well, doesn't it? Behind the Wall of Sleep is a fantastic song. I love the vocal melody in that. It's so cool. NIB, that goddamn bass intro. And then side 2 is where things get interesting. You get Evil Woman, which is fun. Evil Woman. Sleeping Village and Warning, yeah, that's where everything kind of blends together, but it's still such a good album, and then only gets, surpassed in terms of radio success by their second album, which was released in the same year, Paranoid from 1970. This one takes Black Sabbath and just steps it up completely, only to be, to open the album with a song like War Pigs is just amazing. That's the ultimate Black Sabbath song, in my opinion. It's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, the song Paranoid, we all know it, we all love it. Let's talk about other things. Planet Caravan, absolutely fantastic song, so good. Iron Man, we all know it, we all love it. Probably my least favorite song off this LP, to be honest. Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom, I love Hand of Doom. Fantastic song there. Rat Salad and Fairies Wear Boots. Honestly, 8 out of 10 or whatever. Just so good. And then, just when you think Sabbath can't get any better, they release Master of Reality. Absolutely awesome from 1971. We're entering doom metal now. So the first song, Sweet Leaf, being about everyone's favorite substance. Such a good song, despite the coughing intro. Not a fan of that coughing intro. After Forever, the Christian song, so nice. Children of the Grave, Lord of this World, Into the Void. Honestly, this was such a, in my opinion, such a step up from Paranoid. It's so good. I did rank this a little bit lower than The Usual Suspect. I think I put this one at like number 6 or something, and Paranoid's at number 5. But this one is still so amazing. Lyrics on the back there. It's just a fantastic album. All three of them, come on. Sabbath, Paranoid, and this. I almost went with Paranoid, this, and Volume 4, because Volume 4 is still such a fantastic album. But then I draw the line at Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. I don't like that album, so I couldn't go Master for Sabbath. But anyway, that's Black Sabbath for you. A fantastic trio of early days of heavy metal. Cool, now we're going to talk about a band that I only have half of their stuff, so the little chunk that I've only got one of their albums. We're talking about prog metal gods Dream Theater. You could have taken a stab from little chunks of all their careers, but I'm going to start with 2002's 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. When I first heard this record, I was blown away because it was a double album, one side having 6 songs, and then the second disc being one song that goes for 42 minutes with intertwining themes. It blew my little 17-year-old mind. I just thought it was the most amazing thing that anyone could have done musically. I just thought it was glorious. I still love that record today. I don't own it on anything, but I still jam it quite often. It's a really great album to help me pass the time. It's just glorious 21st century Dream Theater, I think. And then coming after that, obviously, you have Train of Thought, which is more or less not the complete opposite, but just another more in-your-face, balls to the wall, straight metal. Do you know what I mean? There's some really heavier stuff on this album. You've got As I Am, which is just this song. It's just so heavy, only to be followed up by This Dying Soul. That's a great song as well. And obviously this is where all of Mike Portnoy's alcoholism, what are they called? Road to Recovery or whatever it is. The 12-Step Suite, that's it. This is where all that stuff kicks in. It kicked off 6 Degrees and it continues through this album. Mate, it's just amazing. I think it's a fantastic song. And then you have other songs like Honor Thy Father and all that jazz. It's so good. But the one that really makes it is In the Name of God. Holy fuck. That song, just 15 minutes of Dream Theater at its heaviest, best, fastest, longest, almost, not quite, but just, it's honestly... It's only 7 tracks, but God, is it an impact. And then they follow it up with my favorite Dream Theater album of all time, Octa Goddamn Varium. Again, I've spoken about this album quite a bit on this channel. I've got a whole video devoted to this album to go in depth with it. This album is from 2005 and it's 8 songs. There's so much going on this album. It's, in terms of heaviness, nowhere near as it Dream Theater's heaviest work. In a way, it's quite calm and quite stripped back. They took a lot of influences like from other stuff that isn't exactly heavy metal, like U2 and Coldplay and things like that. And it really shows on certain songs. The Root of All Evil, though, is top 5 Dream Theater songs. That one's amazing. The Answer Lies Within and These Walls, glorious stuff, really good. I Walk Beside You is fun. Panic Attack has this amazing bass intro, which honestly sounds like a panic attack. Never Enough and Sacrifice Sons. Sacrifice Sons is about fallen heroes, referencing 9/11 in that one. Beautiful stuff. But then the goddamn title track, Octavarium, 24 minutes of complete not repetition, but just repeating motives and themes and just awesome, Octavarium, octave 8. There's 8 notes before the musical alphabet repeats. That song's 24 minutes because there's 24 hours in a day before it repeats. Things like that. It's their 8th album, so honestly, there's so much going on. Go check out Octavarium. Any of those 3, they are so good. But yeah, that's my stab for Dream Theater's best 3-run album take. Next up, we're going with another cult classic band that's probably been mentioned several hundred times. We're talking about Megadeth now. However, we're not going to talk about, again, their cult their early 80 days. Obviously, Peace sells so far so good, and Rust in Peace are glorious. But I'm actually going to talk about the album that starts with Rust in Peace. So yeah, we're going to go with Rust in Peace, Countdown, and Euthanasia. Those 3, they're great as well. So yeah, everyone knows Rust in Peace. If you're anything into thrash metal, you've obviously come across this album. Holy Wars, The Punishment Due is a staple in thrash metal history. I mean, it's amazing that that came out like in the 90s. I know it was from 1990, but still, Hangar 18, just glorious stuff. Take No Prisoners, Five Magics, simple stuff, but still good. Tornado of Souls, just amazing. Rust in Peace, the title track. It's honestly top tier Megadeth. I don't need to tell you that. You probably already know that. You probably deem this as your favorite Megadeth album. I have this at number 3. But yeah, honestly, the albums before this are glorious, but so are the albums after it. We then go for Countdown to Extinction in 1992. I just did a Megadeth ranking about a month ago. This one wasn't my favorite, but it is fantastic. It is so good, despite Symphony of Destruction. I have you could say a passionate hatred for that song just because of how simple it is. But anyway, everything else on this album is absolutely glorious. Skin of My Teeth is fantastic. Architecture of Aggression, that's just brilliant. I love it. For Closure of a Dream, that's catchy. You can't deny that's awesome. This was my life. Oh, Sweating Bullets. I love Sweating Bullets. I think that song is so funny. I think it's amazing. Countdown to Extinction, the title track is just awesome. It's so good. High Speed Dirt. Psychotron's a bit dumb, but I won't lie. I love it. Captive Honor with the whole scene putting you in court, real fun stuff. Ashes in Your Mouth, I think that's great. And then, so you get that album, and then you come off to, that's a really successful album, by the way, and then you come out with another really successful album, Euthanasia. I put this one at number 2 for my Megadeth ranking. This album is genuinely glorious. I think it's fantastic. Don't worry, everything from the 80s is amazing too, but this one really, really just hones in. It's a catchy, good time listening album, I'll tell you. Reckoning Day, simple riff, but hooks you in, man. It's so cool. Train of Consequences, I've always loved that song. Addicted to Chaos, that one's just glorious as well. A Tout Le Monde, every metalhead's ballad, you could say it, beautiful enough. Elysium Fields, The Killing Road, Blood of Heroes, great song there. Family Tree, I could probably leave that one. Euthanasia is cool. I Thought I Knew It All. That's a really great song. I used to listen to that all the time when I first found this album, and then I put the album down, listen to other things, and then only rediscovered that song during the ranking. I fell in love with it again, and it was just great to hear that song again. And Victory, the album closer, real homage to every Megadeth song that he's written prior to this album. So yeah, Rust, Countdown, and Youth are a top tier 3 run in Megadeth's catalog, I reckon. Right. Going back to the start, going back away now, we're talking about Swedish black metal, first wave black metal, Bathory. I nearly wanted to bring Venom up into this video, but I know that Venom had been talked about before, as has Bathory, but I just get a kick more out of Bathory. Don't worry, I love Venom. Their beginning 3 are fantastic, but so are Bathory's. This debut album is just fantastic. I think this is top tier Bathory. It's absolutely beautiful. You can't call yourself a black metal fan if you haven't heard this album. Goddamn, it's quite simple in terms of song structure and stuff. They kind of all start and sound the same, but goddamn, it's still so good. Hades, Reaper, Necromancy, and Sacrifice. Sacrifice is just a gloriously evil, scary song. In Conspiracy with Satan, Raise the Dead, Armageddon, and War. Just 8 tracks of pure blasphemous black metal. It's like I say, it's 1984, so it's quite basic, but it's still goddamn good. And then you have The Return, which is awesome. This sophomore album, in my opinion, doesn't actually hold up to the debut or the one that comes after, but it's still a great album in the 3 album run. Do you know what I mean? I was almost gonna go with Under the Sign, Blood, Fire, Death, and then Hammerheart, but I'm not a fan of Hammerheart, so I couldn't do that. But anyway, The Return is still dark and still evil and still a cult classic in the world of first wave black metal. We have Total Destruction, which is just awesome. I love the way that song sounds. Born for Burning, that's just an amazing song as well. The Wind of Mayhem is the Wind of Mayhem. We all know it. The Rite of Darkness, Reap of Evil. It's just, I love it. And the return of the title track as well. It's just a fantastic album. Only then to be beaten by Under the Sign of the Black Mark. I ranked Bathory. This is number 1. This is the best Bathory album in my opinion. This one is just fantastic. I say this every time I hold this album up. This is what every black metal band thinks they sound like. It's just amazing. This album is so dark and it's fast and it's scary at some points. You have a song like Massacre where the vocals are just hoarding through them. It's just disgusting to listen to. Women of Dark Desires is evil as fuck. Call from the Grave is scary as shit, and it's just easily my favorite song from this album. It's absolutely brutal. Equimanthorn, that's just great as well. Into the Eternal Fire, Chariots of Fire, 13 Candles, and of Doom. It's a fantastic album. Bathory, The Return, and Under the Sign are just absolutely fantastic albums. It's quintessential first wave black metal. It's amazing. Go listen to them. Complete opposite of black metal now. We're going to power metal. We're talking about power metal kings, Dragon Force. Pretty much their whole first chunk is much better than anything that comes after, like, what year? Anything after 2015, I think, is where Dragon Force start to get a bit funny. So we're just going to talk about the debut, the second album, and the third album, because they're awesome. The debut being Valley of the Damned. Absolutely fantastic album for power metal. I think it's amazing. The title track, Valley of the Damned, is one of my favorites. I think it's glorious. Blackfire is amazing as well. Starfire, which is like this little ballad. You know, it's like a ballad. It's just beautiful. I think it's awesome. Disciples of Babylon, Black Winter Night, the one I forgot about. Evening Star, Heart of the Dragon. Just... I'm exhausted just talking about it. It's a fantastic debut album for Dragon Force. It's go, go, go. It's extreme power metal. Everyone is on form. It sounds great. And then only to be topped by their second album, Sonic Firestorm. This album is a step up from Valley. It's so much more... It's better, I reckon. It's so, so good. My spirit will go on from now on to eternity, I think is the lyric. Fury of the Storm, that's just glorious. That's the best song ever. Fields of Despair, I love that chorus. Silent fields of despair. You try to sing it. Dawn Over a New World, yeah, I can probably skip that one. Above the Winter Moonlight, that note at the end, that's the way he sings that final line is just ridiculous. Soldiers of the Wasteland, Dragon Force's first 10-minute song, so good. Prepare for War, sounds a bit like Fury of the Storm in the intro, but it's still amazing, and Once in a Lifetime is glorious. And then you get their world famous one, Inhumane Rampage, which comes with Through the Fire and Flames. That's just, it's a glorious album. It sucks that I don't own it. I really want it. But yeah, Through the Fire and Flames, Revolution, Death Squad, Storming Through the Burning Fields. That's a great song. What else is on there? Operation Ground Pound, Body Breakdown, Cry for Eternity. What's track 7? Flame of Youth. And track 8 is the ballad, Trails of a Broken Heart, I think. They're all fantastic. And if you got the bonus edition, you're probably familiar with Lost Souls in This Time, which is still a fantastic song anyway. But yeah, those three, Valley, Sonic, and Inhumane, are just a great three-way run of extreme power metal. Go listen to them. Dragon Force were so much more than Through the Fire and Flames. I would say go check out their stuff, but stop after Maximum Overdrive in my Overdrive, in my opinion. Everything else though, all this stuff, it's great. But yeah, that's Dragon Force. And then the last band on this list, we're going to finish, I think, is it finished? Yeah, Finnish folk metal. And we're talking about Ensiferum. Now again, you could have taken any chunk really, minus like the last few, but like, you know, you could have gone with the debut, Iron, and what's the third album? What is the and Victory Songs. But actually, I'm starting with Victory Songs. We're going to go for Victory Songs. We're then going to go for From Afar, and then Unsung Heroes. So yeah, Victory Songs is the greatest Ensiferum album of all time. I heard the song Victory Songs and was immediately hooked into what grew into a folk metal obsession. Ad Victorian is a beautiful, beautiful intro. All Ensiferum albums start with a cool intro. It's really, really awesome. Blood is the Price of Glory. Great intro. Deathbringer from the Sky, that squeal, wah, so good. Atty, yeah. One More Magic Potion, that's quite fun. Definitely folky on there. Wanderer, the ballad, you could say, the slower one. Raised by the Sword, I love the vocals on that. I love the chorus, it's so good. The New Dawn, just another thrashy one. And then the epic Victory Song, just absolutely glorious. Only then to be followed up by From Afar from 2009, which I don't own. when I first heard this album, I didn't like it. That was over a decade ago. And then I heard it again when I ranked them, and I listened to it like 4 or 5 times. It's amazing. From Afar, the song is glorious. Twilight Tavern is my favorite. It's amazing. Heathen Throne, the 11-minute song, still great. Stone Cold Metal, yeah, it's awesome. But then what I really love, Tu Man Viranta, yeah, and the like little vocal performance that little 1-minute song is. And then it goes into The Longest Journey, Heathen Throne Part 2. And, you know, throws in homage to Tuman Vidanta. I didn't realize that Tuman Vidanta was like an intro to The Longest Journey. So to incorporate the two of them was just awesome, fantastic folk metal. And then the third follow-up to that was Unsung Heroes. This has the first Insuferium song on it I ever heard, which is In My Sword I Trust. Fantastic folk metal song. It's so fun. Just a quick 5-minute single. So good. Symbols, the acoustic intro, really, really great. I love it. Unsung Heroes, the title track as well. Really fun. So, Burning Leaves, though. I could skip Burning Leaves. I think I do all the time. Celestial Bond, pretty fun. Retribution Shall Be Mine is fast, I remember. Really, really good stuff. Star Queen, Celestial Bond 2, just carrying on from the song previously. Really good. Poyola, amazing. Last Breath, beautiful. And then you get the massive 16-minute closer, Passion Proof Power. Now, I said this in my ranking. If you're going to put a 16-minute song as the album closer, why is that not the album title? Why is Passion Proof Power not the title track? I don't get it. It's a fantastic song. It starts off with this Hunger Gamey intro, you know, with a whistle and stuff, and then it's got metal in it, and it's beautiful. There's choirs. There's a RPG medieval background section. It's just awesome. Like I say, it's 17 minutes, but it's not the title track, so whatever. There you are. But yeah, that's Insuferium. That's folk metal, and that's the end of my 3-album run. So let me know if you agree with my picks. Are you iffy that I went for Maiden's later half? Are you iffy that I went for Megadeth's 90s? Let me know if you like my picks. I'm probably going to film another video immediately after this. Just keep filming until the family comes home. But yeah, let me know your picks down below. Thanks for hanging out with me while we jump on this bandwagon train. It was fun, I won't lie. I'll try fit more stuff in throughout my life now that my boy's slowly growing. He's a month old today, so, but yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me, team, while we sit here and talk about albums that have a good 3-album run. Yeah, so hang out for the next video, and I will meet you there. Catch up.